Okay. You know how there are those decks some people use that are completely obscure? And it's like a really cool reading when they do. I have some really obscure decks. But not really, I guess. One of them is. But not really. I don't know. Let's just have fun. Let's use the Druid Animal Oracle. Which is where this cloth is from this deck. I don't know if you can see it. Can you? Yeah, you can. There's the Fairy Forest. Cute, huh? If only my hair would stay that color. Alright, I think that's enough. If we bring the Isis Oracle into it, then we're just really asking for it. Okay, so let's start, and instead of doing it by sign, let's do it with, let's be specific kind of with a question. What is it that is weighing on the collective that watches this? What is it that will help them the most? All of them is one, and one of them is all, and all of them is the individual self, and all of them connected. What is it that would help them the most? The most beneficial thing. Don't be a scaredy cat. A pony, also known as a horse. Sorry. The wren. Do you know, I once read about these wrens that use every single thing they can to make a nest. Like they're I mean, it sounds simple, but they come up with the most ingenious ideas to make something. Anyway, and that pony is completely free and wild and looking probably for another pony. Because if you look there, and he's looking right kind of towards you and there. And there's a key down here. So what does this mean, right? You have absolutely nothing preventing you from coming up with your own ideas to open your own doors and move forward. You don't need to wait for anybody to give you any permission to do anything. If you want to do it, go and do it. Just don't do it with fear. Don't do it as a response or a reaction to another person's actions or responses. Whatever it is in your life that you're faced with seems to be giving you an option of, if I do this, this happens. If I do that, that happens. And most of them have you feeling like you're a cat trapped in a corner. But you're not trapped in a corner, and you don't need to fight, and you don't need to be defensive. And if someone is really getting like if someone's crossing your boundaries to the point where you feel you have to retract and threaten or hold your ground, then the advice seems to be to move away from that, to leave that be. If you're looking to be with someone but you're afraid of making the first move, the advice is that go for it. Just wait until the sun rises. Because there's a lightning bolt over here in this card. Where does this show up to? Oh, of course not. Okay. Hold your ponies. There we go. Whoa, shoot. No. Sorry, my like MacGyver setup is off today. There we go. So there's a key here, the sun, the pony. That could be, you know, if you really think about it in one way or another, an olive. Looking at it more than just the symbolism of it. Something really feels like it's bothering the collective. And not obviously, right? But it seems like it's bothering them in a way where it's really, it's not allowing you to go through one day without like being anxious about this thing. And this thing comes at you like a lightning bolt out of nowhere. And you're constantly having to think, is it going to happen now? Is it going to happen now? Well, what if it happens now? How do I prepare for that? I just want to go and have a nice free day and roam the fields and find another pony and make a little pony family. I want to lead the way and be on my own. But it's so scary. I hope you can see these. Let me see here. Oh God, this is heavy. Okay, hold on. Ugh, I should really just order a camera off Amazon. Then I'll need the ring light, and then I'll need, oh God, okay. Make it happen, universe. Okay, you want your freedom. You're afraid to go for it because you're a scaredy cat. Oh, two little gooses. Geese, whatever. Two duckies. There are very few things that scare a cat. Do you know that? Side note, make certain you take care of your breasts, ladies and gentlemen. Dandelion flower and dandelion salve, basically dried dandelions mixed into and allowed, like dissolving them into olive oil, are good for the breasts. There are very few things in the world that scare a cat. They may jump, they may get feisty, but to actually resolve to, like, you know, to bare their teeth and their nails, they must really have to be made to feel like their well-being, their life is on the line. A cat will never, ever, ever show that unless it feels it is threatened by life or death. They are very gentle creatures. Just like dogs. Dogs will only snarl in that way when their life is threatened or when they feel like there is danger. They don't do it just to do it. But if you get through the fear, you can have your companions with you. Your duck posse. And I don't care if it says ducks, they're ducks. If it says geese, they're ducks. Okay. So you're as free as a bird and you can do whatever you want and go wherever you want. but you're afraid because the Singer of Courage came out again. Next to the Singer of Initiation, so it's kind of 8, 9, yeah. This is very specific. And the Soul Shrinker, which is the card of gossip, cruel intent, malicious intent, backstabbing, betrayal, negative self-talk. Like the most annoying kind of you just can't, like, not even a single word from it's your worst inner critic multiplied. It has a best friend and they're criticizing. That's what this energy is. And you can also be doing this to yourself. So you're being shown that you're being asked to embody the courage that you don't think you can have. Because what's happening for you is a lesson to help you overcome the tendencies you have within you to do this betrayal of decency within yourself. You can either be as regal as a horse and handle everything with grace and poise. You can be resourceful, communicative, and territorial, and MacGyver yourself an entire scheme or plan or plot. All in the name of, good intentions. You can threaten and become defensive and really say things and do things that are completely uncharacteristic of you. Or you can have the courage to expand from the place of the immature mental chatter to a place of grace. The choice seems to be yours, obviously, but the things that are happening in your life forcing you to choose that weren't your choice. They were a chain of events that everybody played in. That horse isn't alone because it's alone. It had a tribe first. The undressing of a salad, which is universal forces, angels, singers, the Davidic realm, your guides, different beings, all conspiring and is working to undo what was done and make something better that works better. So this could be just give me a minute. If you would just put your guard down and handle this from a place of vulnerability, to where it's more important what's being done than what was said, you would be able to pull off a juggling act that would help you learn so much that the stupid self-talk would seem literally stupid to you. Like, why have you been listening to this inner self-talk for so long that has kept you from so much happiness? Like, how self-defeating do you need to be to allow yourself to be mean to yourself? And then you want to run away and be the stud everywhere to avoid your inner self who's completely, constantly berating you. And then you blame people around you who then echo that energy. And then you're like, oh, these people are all so, angry or scared or whatever. But really it's being reflected from you first. So you need to have the courage to look at that and shine the light on it. And once you do, you will be initiated, because this is the initiation. You will move through the initiation into a process that will move you from negative self-talk to positive self-talk. But first, you must have the courage to face that shadow aspect of yourself. Everybody has one. I named mine Bob. Bob's fucking annoying. Gate, moving through the gate, becoming better than you were. She of the Krua, the divine feminine principle, so to speak, the compassionate mother, gentleness, grace, and poise, and all those wonderful things that you imagine when you think of a statue of a goddess and how wonderful she must have been. That's what that card is. It's like all the queens in the tarot, all the mothers ever in every history book, except the crazy ones. All of the beautiful things that a goddess is a depiction of. The divine feminine, the earth mother, it's everything like that. If you can associate it with the best qualities of a female, that's what this card is in this deck. That's the baseline description. So it's like, whatever. He of the fiery sword is, you know, when your intuition tells you exactly what it is. It's like Archangel Michael's sword. And I know I'm comparing these cards to a lot of different things, but it's to help teach you so that when we're going through these readings later on, I can just go through all the cards, like the exact interpretation. I don't have to kind of give you a Cliff Notes version so that you can keep, you know, you'll also be learning. So to have the courage to face an aspect of you that really isn't very pleasant, but in doing so, you move towards truth and honesty about yourself. But to accept the truth and honesty, you have to be compassionate to yourself. You have to allow yourself to have the nights where you just want to lay down and eat ice cream. You have to allow yourself to tell yourself the truth. You know, if that inner critic wasn't so insulting and actually more constructive, he would be a very constructive criticism aspect within ourselves. Like, oh, instead of being like, oh, those pants look terrible on you. What are people gonna think looking at you? You know, something like that. They'd be like, those pants look great on you, and if you wore heels, they would be better than sneakers. You know, class it up a little bit. One or two more, please. Whoa. Stop putting the lid on things. You don't have to be afraid of being this new person. Things will blossom and bloom, and no matter how much you attempt, you know, when a dog wants to jump up and hug you, and you want to hug them, but part of you is like, don't teach them to jump. It's that. Will you just let the dog jump and hug you? And if you don't want it to jump, then, you know, get closer to the ground and hug your dog, or cat, or child, or, you know, person that is vertically challenged. So if you take the she of the Krua and the he of the fiery sword, and everything else here, because this card isn't showing up, you really are being asked to be kinder to yourself, because you have the potential to have marriage before Valentine's Day. You can attract someone, a soulmate or a twin flame, by that point. She of the Gruach and he of the fiery sword is pretty much divine feminine and the energy of the divine, sacred masculine. Not him in incarnate form, him or her. He can't incarnate while your inner critic is blaring out terrible things. But in revealing the truth to yourself, it sends an arrow to break the darkest part of the storm And that arrow is the moon here being in a new beginning, a crescent on a loop. You use something like that to thread tapestries and crochet things. Well, if it was much tinier. This card is also about love. Love at first sight, communication, being gentle and graceful, that you don't even pop a bubble when you touch it. It can just rest on your skin because you're that vulnerable and sincere and authentic. No one here is putting any pressure on anything. Look. And beneath that is himself, which is the satyr, the earth god. Basically, in this case, saying that the masculine aspect can break through the clouds of your nasty self-talk and incarnate himself within your life with the fairies of the future. 33. 3 plus 3 is like 2 people and their stuff coming together to be 6, which is the Lover's card. And 6 is also the 6 of Cups. And in this deck, it's also the Singer of Connection. So if you can tune out Bob, you can say nice things to yourself, and in doing so attract your soulmate, twin flame, best job, best life, best everything. Totally possible. You can swap to that timeline easily. You just have to move through the gate. The gate that says in order to move through this gate, you have to stop being mean to yourself. Even in ways that you think aren't mean. You're being asked to look at yourself in a way that you have the courage to criticize yourself positively. Where are you being too kind that it's fake? Where are you being so free that it's just a joke? You're not doing anything with it. You're just wasting your time. And in the minute you get any kind of an inkling to do anything, you're like, oh, nope, can't do that. Gotta go back to the same, routine, pattern, the same story. Just gotta conveyor belt all of those things back and forth. The bachelor life. Thinking you're fine alone and your life is just completely okay. But you can't stand it. You go and you stand by that lake and you stare off in the distance and daydream on the little stability you've built for yourself. But you're constantly looking to do something more, but you don't because there's so much emotion in the way that you just don't know how to get through it. You feel too much. And when you attempt to do something with those feelings, the negative self-talk shows up and says no. And then you're busy arguing with that because you're too afraid to go out and do something. And you're being asked to be compassionate towards yourself. In order to not suppress who you really are, you have to be authentic to yourself. You have to allow communication, the rainy kind, the good kind, the sunny kind, the kind that break through rain clouds and make the sunshine before it goes down. This is so clear. I don't think I've ever read energy this clearly. And it doesn't feel like it's about one person, but it kind of does. Someone's really not content with their lives. It's like having everything and then oh, that's what it reminds me of. Did you ever watch? Here, take a look at this while I fix this counter. Did you ever watch this series called Once Upon a Time? I used to watch it with my partner. Sorry, I'm just like shuffling things around here so I can fix. This is where I have my phone to record for you guys. See? I stack this up like this because I'm fucking MacGyver. And then I do this. And then I rest the phone in this crack. You think, right? Like I need to get... Oh no, hold on. I need to get one of those phones. The cameras. Now you can't see anything, can you? Fuck. Okay. Anyway, once upon a time, Regina, the evil queen, had cast a curse. And this curse had made everybody forget everything. And, you know, she was the ruler, the queen. She had control over everybody. That's weird. The music box just went off on its own. She cast this curse on everybody. And everybody forgot who they were except her. And she had her own town. And she was the mayor of it and everything. And, in the last season, someone asked her if she ever cast a curse. And she says, and you can YouTube this, by the way, it's, I think, the scene where Drusilla learns magic. She asks Regina if she ever cast a curse, and Regina says, yeah, I did. And Drusilla asks her, did it make you happy? And Regina says, for a while it did, but I didn't know what happiness was. Like, this is what you got right here. Or she says, it didn't make me happy. Something like that. It was a beautiful thing. When I first saw it, I cried. I like legit cried. Did you ever see The Notebook? Oh my god. Oh my god. The movie was so fucking sad. Oh, anyway. I'm still working on this. I haven't forgotten you. I've like redone this Leaning Tower of Absurdity so many times. Okay. Can you just... Success! I think. God, my throat hurts. No. I have been talking so much. Ugh, this is so annoying. You really don't want this reading. Why did this even mess up in the first place, man? Shit. Just stay there. I think that's as good as it's gonna get right now. And I'm talking to you like you're my best friend. Because that's how I feel right now. It's very strange. I feel a few different vibrations I've felt before and heard. Synesthesia, yay. Geese and the owl underneath that. Okay, so we're clear so much on this part, right? You know you gotta change the negative self-talk you have and actually be kinder to yourself. Catch yourself, pinch yourself, do whatever it takes to not allow your mind to bully your heart. Elven touch. Look at how beautiful this card is. Focus. No? You're not gonna focus? There you go. Those are elves. Recovery, comeback, and revival. I wouldn't normally take out the book, but these cards have an amazing description and they're very brief, and every one of them is like a little teeny weeny story. There are some folk, some who walk among us. Oh, weird. There are some who walk among us who have healing capabilities. In the fairy forest, who this is known as having the elven touch. What? I'm so lost in the color of this, I can't tell. Jesus, man, okay. There are some who walk among us who have healing capabilities. In the fairy forest, this is known as the elven touch. When this card comes to you, you are being offered the assistance of this elven touch, a healing touch of energy that transfers to you some of the gift of immense good health, which aids immediately in your recovery. This transferal of magical energy from the elves offers you a spark of vitality, that luminous quality that helps us to awaken each day refreshed and ready, with renewed enthusiasm, vigor, and optimism. The elven ones are now stilling themselves and gathering their energy to send to you when you are ready to receive. To allow this energy to work its healing within your cells, simply find a quiet place to be sometime today. Cast whatever doubts your human mind brings forth aside for a time, and visualize a silver stream of pure energy entering your crown. Being touched by the elves has always been known to be powerful. They can heal and they can harm. And for you, this transferal of energy brings forth great healing and relief from physical pain. Seek treatments that involve touch. See what I mean? It's also the number 8, which is the number of courage. And the word touch is resonating in my mind right now like an echo. You're afraid to let people touch you. Ooh. Did I just get something? +1 to me. This has been such a fun day today. Holy jeez, man. I have had the most ridiculously awesome day today. That's all I'm going to say. Fairy godmother. I met a neighbor, this lady. I'm going to tell you because I love you. I met a lady neighbor who is the most badass young woman you have ever met in your life. Seriously, she's amazing. And I'm the complete opposite of her. The complete polar opposite. She's born a few days after I was born. She's 10 years younger than me. And she's ridiculous in the best way. Like, you couldn't come up with this character to write her in a book because of how wonderful and kind and loving, yet the complete most, wow, she's amazing. She's amazing. And if you're watching this ever, I'm so glad I met you. Ooh, the devil. But why? I'm just pulling some tarot cards. The devil and death. Jeez Louise. You are really tired of who you are and who you've been. Look at this guy. Is it focused? I can't really tell. Yeah, okay. Do you see how cute he is? And that creepy, I'm gonna like, I don't know what. Do you know everybody has this in them? Like, this is the, if you're a female, this is the probably person you dream about, good and bad. If you're a male, this is probably the guy that like chases you in your dream. It's inside everybody, and we weave these webs of inner self-talk and separation of male and female, and you just want something different. A different experience, a different intimate experience, a different material job experience, things that are tangible in the physical world. You want that to be different. And considering the elven touch came by, the courage, the initiation, this negative self-talk, things being undone and put back into place, the horse on its own looking for another horse, the love at first sight and the arrow, all of that being shot, the female and male principle. Ooh. And then this over here, living alone, doing your own thing, barely having food in the fridge, and you think you got your shit together. Let's pull another one from that deck. I really like that deck. You're so focused on money, your appearance, and hanging out with friends, or attempting to like have, I don't know, one-nighters. You know that feeling where you're just like stuck in a routine of work, sleep, do something. And it's always like the same thing around the same area with the same people. Ooh. Oh God. Aw. Good cards, good cards. Do something creative with your time. Really. Stick some prisms on your windowsill. See the light refracted. See the potential in everything you're doing and everything you could have and everything that could be. See the potential, because you're too blinded by looking at a filter and through a filter. It's like having a fluorescent LED light bulb in your house all the time. That's this weird cold white color. And then you change your light bulb to a soft golden light bulb and everything looks so different and you just kind of sigh in relief. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go change your light bulbs and you'll see. You're sitting on a house that has so much stuff. Like, you're sitting on a fortune. Internally, the way you talk to yourself, what you do, what you feel, what you have materialistically. There's a lot here about the material world. And if you would just take a moment, you would see the love in the situation. Do you see the heart in the clouds? In the trees? This, like, there is a freaking heart in the sky that's not photoshopped or anything. That was actually there. Do you see it? You're wasting your sexual energy, the fire in your fireplace, the warmth in your hearth, the camaraderie, the family, the kinship, the sitting around a fire, drinking a cup of tea or coffee or a glass of wine and being with the love of your life, or your family, or like, gathering around Christmas time kind of, but it's all the time you do that together. Being intimate, being sensual with yourself, with someone, taking care of your body, giving yourself a nice luxurious bath. things to do with the body. You need to transform that. You're getting all pale and stale and dead. This white horse over here, there's a white horse over here again. There's a purity in you that you're just ready to like, what's the word? You're tired of being negative and you want to do something to move forward in a more positive, refined way. But before you can do that, you need to be really authentic with yourself. You can't go from nothing to everything in an instant. You can't emotionally handle it. So the universe is doing this undressing of a salad thing for you, and moving things apart and putting things back together, like rearranging the matrix for you, so that you can find someone and something that is a fit. And all you really want is contact. All these cards are about negative self-talk, avoiding physical contact. Because you've been hurt. No one would avoid physical contact unless they've been hurt. And someone hurt you to the point where you let the dark side of you out, and you don't know how to make things better now. You want to, you've changed, you need to. You're like angry at yourself with how much you wanna make things better. Like that Eminem Rihanna song. You're just gonna stand there and watch me burn. You've begun to like the way it hurts. And I think you're realizing how you have to give yourself a break. You can't. Can you see this card? No, of course you can't. Oh. You have to give yourself a break. You can't be stormy and gloomy and doomy and just, oh, I'm so, I'm so deep, I'm so wounded, I'm so hurt, no one loves me.